So this is Tibet, and she's in desperate need of a groom, and she's the easiest dog to groom because she's simply so soppy. Her underside's the worst, but we're going to get to that today.
Hello. Right.
So here we go, let's get started.
Okay, the essentials: cup of coffee in an insulated mug.
Yep, with my favourite child, of course. Yeah.
Slicker brush. Another little brush to clear your clippers every so often.
Yep.
A rake. And clippers, because this is going to be a big clippering session.
This could be quite the clippering
And
job.
you do need a dog.
Yep, in order to clip her.
Lay down. Lay down, dog. Oh, there you go. And as you can see,
Super easy.
this is a really easy. You are such a funny dog. Oh, I know.
Honestly.
Right, first of all, give him a good old slicker down. But you see, because our dogs are outside most of the time, we have to have a real nice long session of dry weather for they're dry enough for the clippers to work. Otherwise, they don't work on wet fur.
And that'll be an absolute disaster when it comes to clippering. Oh yeah.
So just a general clippering, slickering first of all, on the right side. Now, Tibet's a bit unusual. She likes to lay in muddy pools.
Yep. Well, anything mud related, really.
Tibet, the mud queen.
Yep.
Ooh.
Loves mud.
Right. Okay, we usually use a number 10 on the clipper. It gets quite close, but with a bit of practice, you can actually lift the fur and decide how much you want to cut off. Now, as you can see, it starts to really knot together, and that's the stuff that's got to come out. She's going to have quite a clipper today. But
Yeah, all this mud's going to come off.
She'll be fine. And you can see how it's all bunched together.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
As you can see, she's really enjoying this.
The dogs normally do. They normally do. Once they get used to the noise, sometimes some of them don't like it near the face because of the noise. So when you try to do the ears, which are a little bit more difficult. But as you can see, she's going to lose quite a bit of her underside hair here, but it's getting a bit warmer.
It's already making a difference though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that.
You see, if you can get to the point where you can leave a little bit of undercoat, which is good. Now, luckily, this dog is so chilled out.
You can do whatever you want.
Whatever you want with her, and the noise doesn't bother her. So there are normally two settings. The slower, quieter setting is normally done around the ears, but with Tibet it doesn't matter. So you lift the fur up and you get the clippers underneath. You hear them working. A lot of people also clipper just before they're going to give birth. Tibet seems to know which bits need to be done. Guess she just rolls on her back, says, yeah, that bit now.
She's in heaven.
Now, not all dogs like it. They eventually do. And you just have to hope that you've got one. It's a bit like Tibet.
You just
anything to do with attention, yeah, bring it on.
It's already made a difference there, look.
Yeah.
Ooh, muddy hands.
Yeah. But that's the price for the freedom we give our dogs on the field, that they love running around in the mud. And
exactly like
Leo Bird
up there
do know that.
on that big field.
So you're pulling it up and getting the clippers underneath. As I said, you can vary how much hair you sort of leave, but some of the knots are quite close to the skin, so So you have to go quite close to the skin. But with practice, everyone gets used to it. We're not professional clippers by any means, but we do the basics.
A certain level.
A certain level.
To keep them
yeah.
in check.
There you go. Okay. But the clippers are by far the easiest and quickest way of doing this. Or you can use what we used in the first video about a year ago, I think it was, when we used just a knot buster.
Oh yeah.
And that takes forever.
And when you've got 18 dogs,
yeah,
you can see the problem.
And obviously, once you start going around the teats, just be careful you don't catch them.
Otherwise, that'd be quite a sharp nip for them.
Yeah.
I imagine.
And as you see, they generally, Tibet is in heaven, and she won't move from this position until you actually make her.
This is like a spa day for us humans.
Yes.
You only get pampered for about an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Yeah.
This is the dog equivalent for Tibet anyway. Not for most of our dogs, but for Tibet, this is pretty much heaven on earth.
They're generally pretty good. The older they get, the easier it becomes because they know what's happening.
Yeah.
You see, here we have one. The mud has sealed itself, so we have to go, just lift it up, gentle little movements, let the clippers do the work.
Oh yeah, oh look at that.
And off
Big
it comes.
piece.
That is.
Lovely.
Right, there we go. Now, her whole underside, she likes to dig a hole, does Tibet, in the field. This hole now looks like a badger set, and she then goes into it because that's her character.
We'll have to show you what we mean by that.
Now I'm having to take all of this off now because of the mud. As I said, you can only do this when the mud is at least semi-dry. And then when you live up here. Oh, cough.
Oh. Oh.
Now, when you do the ears area, as I said, you normally go on a lower speed. But here you just got to make sure you don't catch the ear. So there's the ear. You get the scruff. Now, ours get a lot of these behind the ears because they play, as Leoburner's owners will know, especially got more than one. They grab each other by the scruff behind the ears and drag each other around.
Oh yeah, big pit nearly coming off. There we go. Lovely.
You've got to feel with your fingers where the knots are and make sure there is a knot and not an ear.
That's a very important part. She's obviously obviously in her own world, so it's all right. Looking like a bear as usual.
It's amazing how these clippers eventually get through. Now, every 5 to 10 minutes, get yourself a little brush or a toothbrush, whatever. And you've got to clear the clippers because you'll find that they stop seeming to cut so easily.
Obviously don't use your own personal toothbrush because I imagine that's for hygienic reasons not great.
I use Bradley's, so that's fine.
That's why my toothbrush has been tasting a bit weird and smelling a bit off.
So clear all the mechanism because there is a lot of dust and dirt. Let me put it back in.
What? Oh, she's ready again, look.
And what we also do, got a slightly dodgy cable, is we flip from one area to the other because sometimes some dogs get a little bit irritated. This gets a bit warmer there on the skin, so you move to give that area a little break and then you move and you can go back to that area later. Now, one thing that's very important, which is why Tibet is so good, is that when you do this, you must not let your dog escape. Giant breeds can be quite dominant because they're big nicely tempered, beautiful temperaments, but if they feel they can always get away with not staying where you want them to be because they think this is uncomfortable, then you'll never be able to control your dog properly. So start this early when they're a puppy, and any resistance, you don't let them off until you decide to let them go. Otherwise you've got a dog, especially a male, that you can't control.
And you don't want that when they grow up.
No.
Because they are rather large.
So whatever you do, whether or not it's grooming, telling them to come on the come command, to sit, whatever, you don't let them not do it once you've given them the command. Otherwise, then it's your fault, not theirs, why they're disobedient.
That's why it always comes down to the owner and not the dog.
99 times out of 10.
Yeah.
99 times out of 10.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite right. 99 times out of 100.
Maths was always my speciality.
Yeah. Apparently so.
Now, remember, always have that coffee ready. Insulated mug means obviously it stays warmer.
And obviously because I'm the favourite child,
Yeah.
I gave you that cup.
Funny how both of them use that term.
Yep.
Right.
Not that we're competitive or anything.
Now this is a little bit damp, so you'll see that this doesn't quite cut as well, but we're still going to carry on because it is still doing it. But damp fur and mud is harder, but I'm still getting some results, so I'm going to continue. Have a feel for knots. These aren't too bad. These will actually, when they're dried out, you could brush them out with a slicker. So I'm not going to bother to cut them. This is a bigger bit. There you go.
Lovely.
Nice bit of mud.
Look at the mess already, look. The debris from Tibet. Tell you what, this area is looking a lot better though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hell of a lot better.
There we go.
Just a back bit that's going to need a bit as well, but just getting there slowly but surely. Finishing touches now on Tibet. As you can see, she's looking a lot better than at the start, aren't you? Yes, you are. Just giving her a nice little brush down.
Oh, she's definitely molting.
Yeah. Lovely. Oh, big bald head in the way. Looking a lot better, aren't you, Tibet, eh? Look at you. Oh, so this is Tibet in her final form, looking all good and fluffy, as a Leonberger should be, aren't you? And you looking good? Yeah. Plucking the last bits out. Looking a lot better, aren't you? There we go. Last few touches. And that is how you groom a Leonberger. Looking good, aren't you, Tibet?